What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? God bless y'all. God bless y'all. God bless y'all. Welcome to another episode of Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Um, Trump putting in their work. I know a lot of people don't like it. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people because a lot of people like it. You know what I mean? The ones that voted for Trump, we love him. Like it. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people. I'm sorry about that. But you know what I mean? The ones that voted for Trump, we like it. We good. We appreciate what he's doing. He's putting in that work. It's not gonna be um it's not going to go perfect, but it's going the way we voted for what we voted for. And I have to say, I am highly impressed with what Trump is doing. And that's what I mean by Trump is putting in that work. He's putting in that work. I know soon they're supposed to be announcing something type of deal that they have with, I think, the UK. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's the UK. I'm looking. I know he has a lot going on right now, but yeah, he's supposed to be announcing something, but a deal that he has getting ready to announce with I think the UK. I'm not mistaken. I think it was the UK. Give me 1 second. But outside of that, like I watched two separate cases where Pam Bondi was talking about how much fentanyl they have seized already. Again, Trump administration. And of course, mainstream media won't never tell you that part. They won't tell you how much of the illegal immigrants have already been removed from the country. Why? Because it don't fit the mainstream media's narrative. They're not going to tell you that gas prices are coming down. Why? Because it don't fit the mainstream media because of their hate for Trump. They're not going to tell you all of the good stuff that's happening. They're going to keep fear mongering over and over and over. It's the fear mongering. That's all they know how to do. They're not going to tell you all of the good things that is happening right now. The fact that Trump right now has been negotiating with countries after countries over tariffs. We don't know how we're going to come out of this. I know we're going to come out of it better. America's going to do better. There's no question to that because it needs to be done. This has been needed to be done for a long time. This is not something that, we should just, it's a good idea. No, it needs to be done because we can't keep splitting the bill for every country out there and being ripped off and taken advantage of for far too long. It should not have been this way. It should have never been going on this long. But like I said before, he's the only president that actually had the balls and wanted to do it and actually put the work in to get it done. So right now we are making America great as we speak, and all of the decisions that the Trump administration have been making is making America great. I hear people keep talking about, we're into a recession. No, we're not. 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 I already say that bullcrap. People go on my comments. We about the professional so-called people, that financial so-called people. They've been wrong about that so many times it ain't funny. They don't know what they talking about. I don't care what they say and how they say it. They don't know what they talking about. Yes, some things might get expensive. A few things might get more expensive, but the country as a whole, no. Because if you bring down the cost of living, how do we have a recession? Right now, gas prices are dropping. But they're not going to tell you that. Mainstream media is going to do the same thing they always done. Try to keep fear mongering, use it throughout, and the same thing with the Democratic Party. Try to keep fear mongering, and that's what they're doing. Like they so stupid. They keep talking about. I hear Jasmine Crockett, and I put it short about this, saying out of her mouth about the Constitution. Like these people, these illegal immigrants that are being shipped out of here, their constitutional right. First of all, they're illegal immigrants. They don't have no constitutional rights. They have no rights to this country whatsoever. And then there are these other dumb behind Democrats keep talking about, they due process. There is no due process when you come over here illegally. I don't care what they say. I don't care about these lawmakers. I don't care about all the stupid stuff they keep throwing up. My thing is this. The due process was before you came across that border. That's the due process. Before you came across, what's up, Christopher Real? How you doing? God bless you. Welcome in, welcome in. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. The due process is what you should have done before you decided to bring your behind across that border illegally. That's where the due process was at. So now y'all brought all these illegals over here, did not do the due process before they got here, and now you want the Trump administration to follow due process to get them out of here. No. Now, I mean, Trump gonna do what he's gonna do, but if it was me, I'd be still packing them up, shipping them out, packing them up, shipping them out. That's it. I don't care how nobody feel about it. If you didn't respect the process to get here, then we should not respect the process to get you out of here. It's as simple as that. You shouldn't. We shouldn't. And my thing is this. They didn't respect the process before they came across this country, into this country. So we should not be respecting the process to get them out of the country. Simple as that. So I'm 100% with the Trump administration. I don't care if they don't follow what the court say. I don't care. If they ain't supposed to be here and they came across the border illegally, get them out of here. That's it. Get them out of here. That's where I'm at with it. I don't care how nobody feel about it. Y'all can come in. They can come in the chat, talk all they want to talk about it. If you willing, you say you want to protect these illegals, but I don't see none of the people that say that stuff in my chat actually inviting illegals to their house to live and taking care of them. I don't see none of them doing it. Now, I got those two judges that getting ready to me should go to jail. They had them in there. But look what they were doing. Using them for cheap labor because they want slavery. The Democratic Party and all of these people on that side, they want slavery. And I'm going to keep on saying, I don't care how nobody feel about it. And if they're willing to debate me on it, debate me on it. Because I can prove to you that the Democratic Party wants slavery, but you can't prove to me that they don't. You see it. Everything that they're doing is to try to get back slavery. That's why they want us to keep doing business like we're doing with China. Why? Because China used slave labor. That's why they want it. Because China used slave labor, and that's so they can sell the stuff to you as cheap as possible, and you just want to buy it. So the Democratic Party keep trying to protect China because China uses slave labor. That's why they want to protect them. They don't care about American citizens. They care less. They don't care about that. And the stuff that come from China, some of that stuff is not a necessity all the time. Energy costs is a necessity. You bring down gas prices, you bring down energy costs, you get rid of all of these regulations. That frees up companies to make money right here in America, and that frees up citizens' pockets to be able to spend more on other things that they may want and need. Mostly what they need, but also what they want. So who cares that your shirt might be $1 more than what it normally be? And then the stuff that y'all get from China ain't even the greatest stuff anyway. As soon as you wash it, it's done. It done already shrunk 2 sizes. The material coming apart, the thread, needle, the threads are going in there that they put in there. It's all shredding all apart. But y'all want to see, and so you spent cheap, but some of that stuff ain't even worth the cheap money you pay for, but they still willing to pay for it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But, that's where I'm at with that. And that's why I say, you know what? Say what y'all want to say. I go at the Democrats hard, and I'm going to continue to do it because they won't quit, so I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep pushing against them. I hope none of them ever win another election nowhere because they all evil. They all corrupt. And I'm not saying there's no Republicans, but I'm more so have a problem with the Democratic Party. So that's who I'm going to go after. And I'm not saying there's no Republicans, but by and large, we don't have that problem on the Republican side. There is some what we call rhinos. But they better watch out because the more we find out who these rhinos are, the more we're going to get them out of office too. We're not voting for them. When we find out that you're not supporting on the Republican side, that you're not supporting the American first agenda, and you're not voting in line with the things that Trump wants, that is right by the people, we know who you are, and you're not going to keep winning these elections. We're going to find out who you are, and we're going to vote you out too. Because we are becoming a unified party enough that as we get these type of people exposed, we get them out of office and out of the Republican Party, and they will not win elections. Why? Because everything so far from what we've been seeing as people that voted for Trump, we're getting what we voted for. So if maybe you personally as a politician don't like it, but it doesn't matter what you like. What matters is what we voted for, and you better follow suit. Because the vast majority of Americans voted for Trump. Why? Because this is what we wanted. So if you as a Republican and you go against what we voted for, yeah, it is what it is. We're going to make sure you don't win no election either. And y'all believe me when I tell you, we already know that there's Republicans on the side that's going to let us know what's going on. And that's why I tell people, if you want to know what the Trump administration is doing, this is real talk. Get out of your feelings for one. Stop listening to the Democratic Party because they're never going to tell you the truth. If you really want to know what the Trump administration is doing, go to Truth Social and follow the real Donald Trump. Or on X. Just follow. And whatever you see they post, read it. You're not going to get this information that we talk about with each other. You're not going to get this information from the mainstream media. They're never going to tell you all of the wins that America is getting right now. They're not. They're not going to tell you that the way the border is going. They're not going to tell you that the border is secure. And we don't have by far nowhere, 95 to 98% of the border crossings have dropped. Gone. No more. That means that our border patrol is not overworked anymore. They actually can handle their job because they're not overworked and overstressed over trying to protect that border. That's the way it's supposed to have been. But the Biden administration and every mainstream media outlet sat there in your face and lied to you. Lie over and over. We need Congress to act in order to secure the border. We need Congress to act in order to secure the border. This is what they said. They said it over and over again. They lied in everybody's face as if we're that stupid. As soon as Trump came in, he went right back to did what he did the first time, and bam, we got a secure border. How is that possible? And Congress didn't act. Because you're president of the United States. Biden, stupid self, been in there for 40 plus years, almost 50 years, and you don't know that. That's how stupid these Democrats are. They don't even know what their jobs are. They don't know what the Constitution is. I guarantee you that the vast majority of these politicians that they vote for, they say Constitution, but they have no idea what it is. They probably don't even read it, don't even know the details of it. But yet they'll keep hollering it out their mouth. They have no idea what it is. They don't. But they'll turn around and say, oh, well, you know, no illegal immigrants have any rights to the United States Constitution because they're illegal. They're not citizens. Simple as that. I don't have to go to the details. They're illegal. They are criminals. They crossed the border illegally. They broke the law to get here. They're not right. They don't have no rights to no citizens. Technically, you are a terrorist because you came across without permission. And I don't know why the Democratic Party think that this is okay. Even Obama understood that part. They shouldn't be just coming over here. Obama, he did way more deportations than Trump did, but they don't even talk about that part. That's how I know they got to be getting some money out of this. Because there's no way in the world you'd be okay with that if you ain't getting no bread out of it. You ain't getting no money out of it. That's why they wanted illegal immigration. And Joe Biden sat back there and watched it all take place and literally almost destroyed this country. But it's all good. It's all good. Because right now we on the road back. And we're coming back strong. Everything to me is looking sound. I don't care about all of these so-called economy specialists or whatever y'all want to call them. People don't know what they be talking about. They've been wrong so many times it ain't fun. That's why I laugh when people come in the comments and they even, oh, well, so you know more than the economists. So far, I've been right. So far, I've been on point. And I'm not saying I know more or less. I'm just saying some things are just common sense if you actually pay attention to what makes sense. And the economists been wrong. Across the board, they've been wrong. They the ones, like, they forgot about the mess that Joe Biden created. And he did not fix inflation. He wasn't doing nothing to fix inflation. The only reason why inflation started coming down because the Federal Reserve got in, raised up interest rate, and drained the system of free money. That's it. Because his dumb behind were just spending it everywhere. That's why we had inflation. So the feds came in, as gangster as they are, so when they need to be, raise interest rates, drain the system, drain the cost of living, and made it so that people didn't have all this loose money to be spending on things all over the place. And what happened? That was the beginning stages of bringing down inflation. Then there's other factors in there, but Joe Biden and the Biden administration didn't do nothing to fix it. Zero. Trump haven't even been in office for 6 months. And look at the difference. It's a vast difference. We don't have nowhere near the legal crossing. Here's the thing, and I've noticed this just out in the street on my own. I can't count how many of these food trucks and all these type of businesses that were just popping up all the time. Not like a store and stuff. I'm talking about these food trucks and all of this street vendors and stuff like that was popping up all over the place. Trump got in office, all of it disappeared. All of it disappeared. And my thing is this. They will make it extremely hard for an American citizen to be able to get access to that type of capital to be able to start their own business like that. But yet these illegal immigrants came over here and they just handed it to them on a silver platter. And they want American citizens to be okay with that. They want American citizens to be okay with that. So another American citizen that tries to go start a business in that, they will send them through all of these heaps and bounds and all of this complication stuff in order for them to start some type of business. But then illegal immigrants come over here, they hand them a bunch of money, and next thing you know, they got a food truck. They out there selling food. They didn't do nothing to get that food truck. They just gave them the money. And you American citizen, you work in your job, you want to excel or progress in your life. What did they do? They go try to get that type of money on your own, see how hard it is. Go get it. And you'll see just how hard it become for you to get that very type of money that they was handing to the illegal immigrants. And on the back end, they will get money out of it. Trust me when I tell you, anyone that supported illegal immigration was getting something out of it. And all of those kids that are missing, over 300,000 children missing under the Biden administration, and they did zero to try to find them. Zero. But yet but you will listen to the Democratic Party and all of the mainstream media, and they'll keep telling you, oh, Trump bad guy. Where? It's easy for you to say it. Show it. Show where the bad guy is. How is somebody wanting to make America great again, who cares about the country, who loves his country, how is he a bad guy for American citizens? Please make that make sense. Make it make sense. If you want this live, please hit the like button. Appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate it. I really, really do. I just want to know. Somebody please tell me so. How? How is it? How is somebody, a president, making America great? How is that bad for American citizens? That's what I want to know. How's it bad for us? They say it's bad for us, but how is it bad for us? Make it make sense. How is lowering gas prices bad for American citizens? How is $8 trillion being invested in America in American businesses to provide hundreds of thousands of jobs, better, greater paying jobs that American citizens will have access to because illegals are getting them out of here? How's that bad for America citizens? Make that make sense. That's why I laugh at these people. Like, you don't know what I'm talking about. And then the ones that come in my chat and make comments and stuff, I just laugh at them. I say, I know you got to be getting something out of the Democratic Party to be that stupid. To say a stupid comment like that, you have to be a part. They have to be giving you some type of money. I hope you're not that stupid on your own. That's how I see it. Because that's how dumb it looks to me. Coming in and say stupid stuff and don't even make sense what they're saying. That means that the Democratic Party is still funneling some of these so-called YouTubers, people that they pay for to try to go after the people that was, that either promoted Trump, campaign for Trump. These YouTubers that was always talking about the positive stuff that Trump doing. They wanted him back in office. the Democratic Party was finding people to try to combat that. And he probably still got a few of them still out there lingering around that's getting paid to do it, which we don't care. That's if they paying you, I take their money too. I mean, I personally ain't going to do it, but I'll take the money too. Just to go on somebody's comments and say something stupid. Yeah, they don't know who I am, because usually when you see these type of people, you never see their face. You never see their actual face. So that tell me right there that they don't really believe what they're saying. They just saying it because that's what they paid to say.
Anything from politics to sports, any of those moves?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if Trump made his announcement or not, but it's crazy. This is just off the wall crazy, and that's just how I feel about it. I mean, Trump is putting in real work. He is. Can't argue with that. Came in as soon as he got in office, as soon as he got elected, as soon as he took that job, he went right to work, and he's been nonstop since. And he's not even getting paid for it because he's once again donating his whole paycheck. And again, mainstream media won't talk about that part neither. First president is actually working for free. Now somebody goes try to find he's going to get a tax rise. He's going to get it. It's not my point is, he's not taking the paycheck. He's donating. He's been donating. He donated the last 4 years he was in office, and he donated this. What did these other, instead of worrying about what tax write-off or whatever he might get, why y'all don't go after the other presidents and say they should do it? Nobody goes after Biden. Biden didn't do it. He's been in office for 40-something years. He got millions of dollars. Why he didn't do it for free? The Bushes ain't do it for free, and they Republicans. No other president prior to that did it for free, and y'all mad at the one that's doing the job for free. He's not charging to do it. He donated the whole paycheck. But y'all don't want to hear that, and y'all going. And the sad part is they're gonna go make up some stories and go find something. Oh, he probably donated to this, whatever. That's why I be when they bring the smoke, I be like, bring it. I don't care, bring the smoke, because I know y'all know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't. My thing is just, how does somebody train you to have hate for somebody and he never did nothing to you? That's what I want to know. How did you come to the point where you have such hate for somebody who never did nothing to you? I don't hate Joe Biden. I just don't want him in office. I don't hate nobody on the Democratic Party. I just don't want them in office. I don't spew no hate. I don't spew nothing about hurting them and hurting anything like that. I just don't want them in office. I don't want no Democrats in office because I don't trust none of them. When you see that hate for Trump and you see hate for Elon Musk, when both of them are actually doing the job for free. Because Elon Musk didn't get paid to do what he was doing either. So it don't make sense to me. How do you have that much hate for somebody who's never done nothing for you? I mean, to you. Yeah, Jericho, what's up? God bless you. God bless you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I got my thing up now and I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I'm watching now. Hopefully, I think it was with the UK. He's supposed to be making an announcement. I got my phone. I'm kind of looking at it right now to see what's that. I don't have the volume up, but it's there. But how you doing? Hopefully all is well with you, Draco. Hopefully. I mean, your life is going great. And like I said, I don't understand for people that say this stuff. How so? And you still got people that still trying to ride the racist train. I'm like, you're not making sense. He's not. If I'm a racist, the stuff that y'all racist would do, he's doing the very opposite. So he's not very good at being the racist if that's what y'all call him. Because the racist is not going to do what he's doing. He's going to do the very opposite of what Trump is doing. Anybody that understands racism will understand that if you was a racist, you would do the very opposite of what Trump is doing. You would not turn abortion back over to the state. You would keep it going, because if you don't like a group of people like black people and you know that they're going to have the vast majority of the abortions in America, you're not going to make that harder. You're going to make it easier. That's what a racist would do. He's going to make that easy. He said, okay, I know that 40% of y'all going to off your baby, so I'm gonna make that easy for you. I'm gonna make it so easy for you to have abortion. It ain't funny. Why? Because I know that most of them is gonna be African American. So we want to get rid of the African American group and keep them numbers down. Let's keep promoting abortion over there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what I would do if I'm a racist. I'm like, well, we know they're going, most of them. So the first thing we got to do to guarantee that they're more likely going to have the abortion, we got to keep them financially bankrupt. In order to keep them financially bankrupt, we got to offer them the bare minimum to make a large segment of them, a good portion of them, lazy enough that they don't want nothing out of life. So if we offer them welfare and we keep them financially bankrupt, if they go to have children, 9 times out of 10, because of finances, they're going to want to off that baby because they're going to feel like they can't afford it. And we don't have it works almost, it works very, very well. And so far it's been working. Because the unfortunate part is the African American community has not, population wise, hasn't increased in years because of that reason. Because of the self-lynching. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to pour drugs and stuff into their community. You would not be trying to stop the fentanyl. You wouldn't. You wouldn't be not trying to stop none of these drugs. What you would do is you would open up the floodgate and let more of it come in because you know that the poor and unfortunate and most of those type of communities African Americans live in, it's going to be more detrimental. And then on the flip side of it, they're going the other side of it, they're going to be trying to sell it on the street, get caught by the cops, and now you're in the system. That's what a racist would do. It works. So if Trump was a racist, it doesn't make sense because he's doing the very opposite of any racist would do. This is what racist people do because it works. That's why I look at the Democratic Party and understand that they have never stopped wanting racism and they have never stopped wanting slavery. They just tried to put virtual signaling in front of it to make it look like they're doing something humanitarian by saying, "Oh, we need to protect women's rights. Women's health and women's rights." Meanwhile, you're saying that men can go into women's sports and beat the crap out of them. Men can go into women's bathroom and rape them. And how in the world are you protecting women in that? Oh, we want to protect women. Why? So they can have an abortion. How is that? How is that protecting women? How is having an abortion protecting women? But they will never promote families. Why? Because they know a unified family is dangerous to the Democratic Party. Because then that means that there's a mother and a father working together to take care of children. That means that you're more likely not to be on welfare. See, the welfare system helps guarantee that the vast majority of people in that situation is going to vote for them. That's why they want it. They never stopped wanting slavery. That's why they're fighting to keep China. That's why they're mad about China right now. Why? Because China has slave labor and they want to protect China. They don't care about America. They want to protect China. So they don't want American citizens to have good paying, well-paying jobs. They want to protect China right now. That's why you hear all Democrats and you hear all the mainstream media keep talking this way because they want to protect China. Now, they talking about a recession or they talking about the economy's about to collapse. China's economy is collapsing. Because that's the one that was the one that's actually benefiting from all of the money that they was making from America. So since we done shut all that down and stopped all of that, now their economy is collapsing. American economy ain't collapsed right now, but China's is right now. But the mainstream media is not going to tell you that. Why? Because now China wants to come to the table and negotiate. Why? Because they see the outcome. They're not showing you all of the people that's in China protesting right now because they want them their leadership to negotiate with Trump so that they can go back to business. All of those ships over there sitting over in China, sitting in that water, ain't got no way to go. All that product ain't got no way to go. Why? Because China has been ripping not just America, other countries off too. And once finally someone has the balls to put a stop to it. Finally, someone has the balls to put a stop to it. And that's my point. So for those that say, whatever, call him when you want. You can hate on Trump all you want to. This president that we have right now is making America great. He's helping making America wealthy. He's helping making America healthy. He's doing all the things that we as American citizens always wanted. But every time you voted for someone in there, guess what? They said it on, they campaigned on it. Then they got in office, forgot all about the people. No, they don't. And no, they're not. This is no, they don't. And my point is that they don't have an idea. Like, here's my point. Here's one for you. Now, this guy right here. Y'all know, I like him. Cool. To some extent, I don't know who he is. Don't know what he look like and nothing like that. But he's in my lives all the time. And I appreciate his support and everything else. But he said I'm brainwashed. But I'm brainwashed, who voted Democrat ridiculously more, too many times more than I ever voted Republican by far. The brainwashing is how stupid I was for voting for people who's been destroying my community for roughly 60 years. That was the brainwash part. That was the brainwash part. And see, this is what I mean by they have no substance. See what they go to? Trump looks unhealthy. Trump looks sick. But he never got on there once and said Biden looks unhealthy. Biden can't speak. He's slurring his words. He's falling asleep. He's out on the beach falling asleep. He ain't even doing his job. He was so incoherent, Biden was, that he couldn't even sign executive orders. He had everything on auto pen. But this is the type of people that will come in and start talking about Trump. Like, their hate for Trump is just hilarious. But it's cool. I appreciate the support. I really do. But this is the point that I'll be trying to make. That is the very point that I'll be trying to make. Right. And my thing is this. The Democratic Party as a whole has never once, right? They don't even follow the process. The voters did not vote for Kamala Harris, but they threw Kamala Harris on. The voters didn't vote for Hillary, but they voted more so for Bernie Sanders, but somehow or another they ended up with Hillary. Just same thing with Obama. Same thing with Obama. But it's hilarious. And my thing is this. Kamala Harris is supposed to be a healthy person. And all she did was talk in word salad. And she's still talking in word salad. But he's saying Trump is unhealthy. Meanwhile, through that whole election, Trump was doing 2 to 3 rallies every time. Because I can. Because it's my page. It's my live, and I can do it. That's why I'm talking about it. Because they suck. That's why I'm talking about it. Just the same reason why you talk about Trump is the same reason why I'm talking about them. Because they suck. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about the wins under the Trump administration. I'm talking about the wins. I'm talking about the fact that gas prices coming down, food costs has come down, inflation has come down, the border is secure. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the stuff that the Trump administration is doing. You doing right, he's the president. Say it again, Donald. Come on, Donald. Say it again. Trump is the president. You better recognize he is the president. You got that one right. Trump is definitely the president, and he's doing a wonderful job. When I say he's doing a wonderful job, it is amazing to watch your vote, my vote especially, actually work. Somebody I voted for is actually doing what they campaigned on and why I voted for them. It is amazing to me. I love it. Oh, now I'm a bootlegger. Say what you want to say, Donald. It's a beautiful thing. Look, I tell you, call you what you want to call me. That's cool. You know I ain't got no beef with that. But guess what? These illegal immigrants ain't coming across that border no more. He talked about trying to open back up Alcatraz so he can store some more of them illegals and get them on up out of here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. Goodbye, illegals. What's up, 47? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you. Yes, you're right, brother. That's my vote working overtime. Man, I'm gonna tell you, you can't make me mad, bro. They can't make me mad. I'm enjoying this. I ain't never seen it. Oh man. If anybody watch my live, they will see a drifter. So you know you're talking about yourself, right, Donald? Because you on my live just as much as anybody else. That's what I'm just saying. You on my live just as much as anybody else. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. But I'm just saying, you on my live just as much as anybody else. And like I said, my vote is working overtime. I am 100% excited. I'm still trying to figure out. Say what you want to say. My pockets don't look ridiculous. My country don't look ridiculous. You can say what you want to say, bro. I mean, Colin, I look ridiculous just to you. But I don't look ridiculous to the other almost 2,000 followers that I have. It's just you, because you're the only one on here that come on here and say, I look ridiculous. I look like I love my country. And if that means I look ridiculous, loving my country, and wanting the best for my country, I'm 100% good with it. I'm good with it. Right now, we're doing great. I love it. Say what you want to say. You get mad at you want at me. Call it what you want to call it. Trump 2024, and now we in Trump. Now we Trump 2025, getting the job done. Everything going well. It is great, and it ain't gonna be perfect. But guess what? I am 100% happy with what I did and why I voted for Trump, and I'm great for what I see happening. I ain't got no problem with it. I'm in the coat. Yeah, whatever. I'm good with it. If being in the coat means making America great, then let me be in the coat. If being in the coat means make America great, good. I'm good with it. Because I'm going to tell you something. In order to be in the coat, you got to be controlled. And ain't nobody controlling me. All I see is more freedom. Hey, you heard 47. He said, country's a coat. I guess he's the top leader. Well, 47, we going to compete for that one, bro. I'll take second command. I'm good with that, too. It don't matter to me. Call it what you want to call it. I don't care. My thing, I ain't admit anything. You said it. I don't care. You can't troll me. I'm good. I want my country back the way it should be. And if that means I got to get behind this president who I voted for, I mean, I don't even think you voted. You probably didn't even vote. Right. Like, I'm good. I mean, Trump is doing a hell of a job, and I ain't got no beef with it. He's doing it, and it's better than I even thought. I love the fact that he pays attention to the details, like stuff that I would have never expected a president to actually be aware of. he's aware of, and he's doing a hell of a job. For those that voted for Trump and understand what's happening and understand this process, you got to be proud of your president. You got to be. Even the military, which nobody talks about also, the military has getting record numbers of people wanting to join the service again. 4 years, nobody wanted to go in the military no more. They all was bailing out. Now, all of a sudden, because Trump is back in office, they want to get back in the military. I mean, people are actually signed up to go into the service again. Why? I guarantee you that it ain't true, Donald. I guarantee you that ain't true. You listen to CNN, ABC, and all of those people. I get it. But I bet you an amount of money. You go look at that interview they did with those black people that said if they would vote for Trump again, all the people on there said they will vote for Trump again. Now, his approval rating, you can't actually go to Democrats, which is what they did. See, Donald, I already know all this stuff. What they did, they went and got these approval ratings from a bunch of Democrats and tried to make it look like Trump's approval rating is down. In reality, that's not true. Because you can't find one person, you will never be able to find that many people who voted for Trump say that they regret voting for Trump. And I'm one of them. 47 is one of them. Everybody that being alive that you see in this live, Donald, you see the same faces. You never hear one of them say or put in the line, I wish I wouldn't have never voted for Trump. So even if you did a poll based on the people that follow my channel and come to my channel, not one person that said that they voted for Trump on my channel regret voting for Trump on my channel. So I don't have to listen to CNN. I don't have to listen to none of them. Because why? None of them know what they're talking about. We know how biased they are. They hate Trump. So they're going to create polls that they want to create. So it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you the facts. You need to go find out. I'm telling you the facts. That this is what they did. Everybody knows it, but I know you don't. I know it because I follow it. I go get even though you might not see me put out all of it, I know what I'm talking about. I know when you get that information from. Because unlike you or most of those people like that, I actually watch both sides of it. That way I form an intelligent decision of where I'm going and what I'm talking about. I hear what they say. I know exactly where they get the information from. But I also know that these people are haters. And then I look at the information of who they poll, and I'm like, well, how you gonna poll all of these people that are Democrat and think you're gonna come up with an accurate answer out of that? That don't even make sense. At that point, I don't respect none of what you say or what you put out because you're not being honest. You're not actually being honest. If you're gonna be honest, then you're gonna go get 50% of people that voted for Trump. Now, and then you're gonna go get 50% of people that maybe didn't vote for Trump, and even in that, you're not gonna get it accurate. Because they're not going to tell you the truth. They're not going to put it out that way. None of the mainstream media does it that way. If you really want to know if people regret voting for Trump, you got to go to the people that voted for Trump and ask them, did they regret it? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you no. It might be a handful of them. I watch both sides. How you think I know what I'm talking about? I know the very same polls you look at. You look at this. If you don't watch, first of all, Donald, you're not making sense. If you don't watch mainstream media, how you going to know about the polls? How would you know about the polls if you don't watch mainstream media? If you saying that the poll said he's down, where did you get your information from if you don't watch the mainstream media? I'm telling you, that's what they said. So how would you even know that if you don't watch mainstream media? This is what you're saying. I watch enough of them to know it, but then I go find out how did they come up with that? And once I find out how they came up with it, I say, okay, once again, they're trying to spin a narrative as opposed to making it fair and impartial. They don't do that part. So I know what I'm talking about. It can be tired, but guess what? Trump is president. I didn't say they just in mainstream media. I'm telling you where you got yours from. Because I can go show you polls that says the very opposite of what they said. I can show you, I've seen polls that said the very opposite of what they said. That Trump is actually way up as far as people who like what he's doing and says that they love the direction of the country is going. So it doesn't matter. My point is this, I got to watch both sides and kind of get a better perspective. Well, you brought up polls and you tell me what polls. I told you, CNN, all of them said one thing. Fox said something different. And my thing is, I do my own poll right here. All the people that's in my channel, vast majority of people that follow my channel voted for Trump. And I ain't get one person that voted on my channel that supports my lives or on my channel comment say otherwise. So that tells me right now, I look at the people out every single day. I don't have to go to the polls for any of that stuff. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need them polls. Because if the polls don't match what the public is saying, I don't care about the polls. I watched CNN and they said what they said. I watched ABC and what they said. And guess what? It don't match what the people are saying. So if you really want to know, Donald, how the people that voted for Trump feel about this, you should go ask people that voted for Trump. That way you have a real poll from real people yourself. That's real talk. That's real talk. I told you what poll. My polls. I'm not worried about nobody else's poll. I'm telling you from my polls on my channel. I have yet to find one person. So you keep talking about polls. Anybody take a poll is a poll. If you take a poll on voters, anybody says a poll, that's it. I'm going by my channel. That is my poll. You're not listening. I know you might want to accept that poll, but that's the poll that I'm going to go by. Mine. I don't care about CNN's poll. I don't care about none of their other polls. I'm going by the people that I know voted for Trump. And I won't find nobody that says they regret voting for Trump. That's the point that I'm making. It has nothing to do with whose poll and what poll. I see them, but I don't care. I don't care about the ones that say they don't, and I don't care about that. I'm going by the people that support my channel. That's my poll. It don't matter what you do. That's your channel. You got every right to do with it. You got every right to do with it. I think you should put yourself on your channel so people who know who you are, and then you should chart your YouTube channel and show how much you hate Trump and how much you hate America and how much you hate this country and how much you're against what the Trump administration is doing. And you might end up with 100,000 subscribers. I don't know. But if you feel that passion about your hate for Trump, you should put it to good use. That's my point. I don't have no hate for Biden. I just don't want them in office. I don't have no hate for Obama. I just don't want them in office. I don't have no hate for Kamala Harris. I don't want them in office. I just don't think that they know what they were doing. And clearly, after 4 years of Biden administration, they don't know what they're doing. So I'm good with it. I don't want none of them back in office. I don't want no Democrat in office that talks some stupid stuff that come out their mouth. And so far, AOC and Jasmine Crockett and all the ones that Bernie Sanders and all the ones that they saying that are leaders of the Democratic Party are idiots, and I don't want them in office. I don't like their ideas. I don't like what they be campaigning on. I'm told it's not good for America. So that's where I'm at with that. Whatever. I'm not clout chasing. I'm taking advantage of opportunity because I live in a capitalism country. And if anybody has a problem with what I'm doing or don't like what I'm doing or don't like what I'm saying, they welcome not to come here. I don't go to your channel, Donald. You come to mine. And obviously you enjoy it, that you can't stay away. You love it. Say what you want to say, Donald. My channel is your number one channel. You cannot help yourself but to come to my channel. Say what you, I'm not no channel. First of all, you call me what you want to call me. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you say. It don't. It really doesn't matter what you say. Everything, my president that I voted for, he won. Not only did he win the election, he also won the popular vote. He also won the Electoral College. Got the House, and he got the Senate. So it doesn't matter what anybody says. The vast majority of America wanted the same thing I wanted. The government. Process of what? Due process. Let me explain something to you when it comes to due process. If you didn't do due process to get here, you don't benefit from due process to get up out of here. That's simple as that. Some things are just common sense. All the people keep talking about due process. Those illegal immigrants that came over here, they didn't follow due process. And if you're that interested in due process, see, this is where you start to get ridiculous, Donald. This is where you start to get ridiculous. You're so adamant about trying to, again, so you just must, I guess you didn't watch the election either, huh? We got another one. I love the trolls. Bring them. Bring the smoke, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. Yep. But yet how are you a dictator? You talking about him? We got a dictator lover. Okay. How is he a dictator? How is cutting gas price a dictatorship? How is getting rid of illegal immigrants dictatorship and protecting America? How is that dictatorship? How is doing what the voters wanted and what they voted for dictatorship? See, a dictator ain't going to pay attention to the voters. A dictator is not going to pay attention to what none of the voters say. They're going to get in office and do exactly what they want to do, contrary to what they ran on the election on. That's a dictator. That's a dictator. My ignorance, I'm not ignorant, Donald. You're the one that's ignorant. I'm not ignorant. And my thing is this. If you don't follow due process, and here's the thing. Let's look at it at your home, Donald. Let me just walk in your house without due process. What is the due process to get in your home, Donald? What's the due process? Some things are just common sense. If I wanted to walk into your home right now, what's the due process? I don't care. You shouldn't have came across it the wrong way. I asked the question. You keep talking about due process. What's the due process to go in your home? No, he's not. You're just showing your ignorance. I'm not dumb. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Some things, if you really pay attention to it, the process is common sense. I don't have to be, it don't take a whole lot of rocket science to figure that part out. If I was to walk into somebody's house, just walk in, out, that would be committing a crime. It's called breaking an entry, stupid. That's what it is. If I go into somebody's house without an invitation, that's breaking an entry. That's not due process. Due process is you ring the doorbell. If the person who answers the door says welcomes me in, that's due process. If I go across somebody's border without permission, that's not due. I'm not following process. So why should I get the benefit of illegally crossing someone else's border of the process? I'm not a citizen. So you guys keep giving benefits to people that ain't supposed to be here. Due process is for American citizens only. I don't care what they tell you. That's due process. So you take your ignorant self somewhere else because you don't know what you're talking about. You keep listening to these Democrats who don't know the Constitution, just like they keep trying to give rights to people that came across the border and slapping the Black American citizens in the face, because all of these sanctuary cities that we created back then was for Black Americans that was already here for protection. Now you want to give illegal immigrants the very protection that was for Black Americans that was here as already, who went and fought through slavery and needed a safe place to go. You're talking to the wrong one. No, it's not for everybody. It's only for Black Americans. It's not for everybody. So yes, how stupid you are. You go look at the time period of when that 14th Amendment was written, and then you will find out exactly what it's for. It's not for nobody but Black Americans. And I'm not giving nobody that right that my ancestors fought for. You can kiss my behind on that one. And if you want to know I'm mad, yeah, I'm mad, because it's an insult to Black Americans. That's what that is. That's a slap in the face for all the ancestors in America who fought for that right. And you want to hand it to somebody that don't deserve it. I'm not for it. Now, if you want to make me mad, that's one that's making me mad, because I know what my ancestors fought for and the freedom that they fought for. So you kiss my behind on that one. I don't care how you feel. That's for Black people, not for Mexicans, not for nobody that has no right to this country. So if you want to play with somebody, you got the right one for that one, because that's the one thing I'm not okay with. I take that personal, because my ancestors fought for something. They fought for the right that they was here. They was stuck here. They needed a safe place to go. And you want to hand that to illegal immigrants? You kiss my behind on that one. Don't care how you feel about it. I'm real talk with that one. And it ain't racist. It's Black people who deserved it. That was protection. Who the Republican Party voted for. That's right. The Republican Party was the one was protecting. The Democratic Party was trying to keep them enslaved, just like they're doing today. Trying to keep them enslaved. I said for anybody, I don't care if you're from Mexico or any other country. I do not care. Black Americans were stuck here. They had no place to go, and they needed a place, safe place to go, because of what they was being met with. So that's what the sanctuary city's for. You need to go check your history. We wasn't immigrants. That should go right there. We wasn't immigrants. It's not nothing to do with immigrants. That's what sanctuary cities was for. So you telling me that it's okay to be an illegal immigrant, break the law to get here, don't respect the law, and they should get the same benefits of Black protection that Black people? You kiss my behind on that one, bro. You know what you're talking about. I don't care about that due process. If you want due process, do it before you get here. If you want due process, you don't respect the due process to get over here, but you want people to look at due process when they send you back. Make that make sense. You keep ignoring the fact that they're not American citizens. The 14th Amendment was written for black Americans. No, they didn't say black, but that's why it was there. That's what it was there for. Black people. Nobody else. It wasn't for nobody else but black slaves at the time. Nobody. That's what it's for. I don't care about that. It was for black people, and you're not going to insult my people by giving other people the same rights that we deserve. No. Sorry. I'm not for that one. Okay, he did. What's up? Yeah, all right, Draco, let's get back to the real stuff. I don't care about that right now. They're ignorant. Hold up. Thanks, Draco. Yeah, I want to see what they're talking about, Draco. So I'm glad you jumped in. Thanks.
For sectors like car manufacturing, for steel and aluminium, and so many others. And yes, we can finish hiring out some of the details, but there's a fantastic platform here, including, of course, on the tech side, where I think I'm right in saying we're the only two Western countries with trillion-dollar sectors when it comes to tech.
Hey, Draco, what did I miss anything? If you're still on the live, please hit the like button. Just for the record, I don't care about it saying anything for black people. That's what it was for. Black people. That was, you look at the time period and what was going on at the time, that's what it was for. Nobody else. That's the point that I'm making, and I'm not going to make it no more. You're talking to the wrong person. You might as well go ahead somebody else with that. It was for black people because that's what was going on at the time that they wrote it. And I'm going to leave it there.
With you, but on the details, I think if you've got Howard, we can deal with that through one of my team.
That's great. Well, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much. It's an honor. We're going to have a continued, maybe a better relationship than ever before.
Yeah, I'm watching it now, Draco.
The media knows, but the U.S. and UK
I got it on my, I'm listening to it on my phone.
To try and make a deal. And it never quite got there.
Yeah.
It did with this Prime Minister. So I want to just congratulate you.
Well, with this president, this Prime Minister, we've managed to achieve what many people tried to achieve for many years.
Yeah.
And I'm really pleased. And it feels completely historic and on a special 80-year anniversary as well. So, Donald, thank you so much. It's really good to have got this deal over the line. Tribute to both teams, tribute to our countries, and tribute to your leadership.
Well, it really is a great thing. And you go do your press conference, and I'll see you soon. Maybe speak to you later. But thank you very much. An incredible thing. I can't tell you that for so many years, even as I sat, everybody talked and talked and talked about a deal. It just seemed like a natural deal, but it was not done. But now it was done with us. So I feel very proud to have been a part of it. Keir, thank you very much.
Thanks, Donald, and we'll speak again soon.
Very good. So long. Bye. Why don't I do this? Why don't I have our...
You're part of the six.
Howard Lutnick, give a little description of the deal really quick. And then the good side, the very nice side, we'll be speaking about it also, maybe. So you get I think it's a very, it's just been a deal that was, we thought, very complicated. It became very simple. It's opening up the country that we really didn't have the kind of access to that I would have thought. I was surprised. I think it's why the deal never got done before. It was, they've been working on this deal for 25 years. And we got it done, and we got it done. Really, it's going to be great for both countries. So, Sarah, if you could go, and then somebody else, you may have, you'll picture whoever you want who'd like to do it. I have a feeling you're going to do it, right? So you guys go ahead, and then we'll take questions right after that. But I think you'll get a pretty good understanding of how big it is. It's a very large deal, very big deal, and how
It's great.
So the UK is the 6th largest economy in the world and
Okay.
the 4th largest that we export to, right? So it's a huge market, a top 10 market. If you remember Liberation Day, they were at 10% because we have balanced trade with the UK, right? They say they had a surplus, but of course that counts gold bullion, which is, so let's just call it balanced trade. So how do you open up a market in balanced trade? People think it's impossible. They've always thought it was impossible until President Trump came on the scene and changed the way things work. So here's what we've got. We've opened up new market access, ethanol, beef, machinery, all the agricultural products. They've agreed to open their markets, and that will add $5 billion of opportunity to American exporters. So the question is, why would they do that now? Because they've never done it before. And we still have our 10% tariff on, which will produce $6 billion of revenue for the United States. So the idea was, how do they keep their jobs, protect their economy, and do the best for their people while opening the market for us? And the ways they studied it, their team was exceptional, and they tried to figure out the markets that they're importing from other people and try to send them over to America. So why were they always favoring others and not us? And what they've done is they've found ways to do that so that we have new access, right? But the UK workers are protected, and that was the balance. So we did a deal with them in automobiles, and if you're not building here, we charge you a 25% tariff. But the president, and by the way, I want to make this clear, while Jameson and I worked hard, this was the president's deal. And people think, oh, that's not the way it works. If you got to sit next to him, I have the best deal maker to my left. And if you don't think that we take advantage of him calling the prime minister and getting that deal done, you don't understand who's the president of the United States. So he's the closer. He gets deals done that we could never get done because he understands business, he understands deals, and that's why we're here today. So he agreed they could send 100,000 cars into America and only pay a 10% tariff. And that protects their car industry. And remember, we do 16 million cars a year. So this is only like 0.6%. But for the UK auto people, this is tens of thousands of jobs that the president agreed that he would protect for them. So he made that deal, right? Then steel and aluminum, right? Their steel business has been destroyed like everybody else has been destroyed by people dumping steel into their markets. And British Steel had announced it was closing down. So the British government, as part of this deal, nationalized British Steel, and they're going to match the kinds of models we do. They'll put tariffs on, they'll put quotas on. They want to do it with America so they can be part of the resurgence of steel and aluminum in America, and that saves them, again, thousands and thousands of jobs. So if you go step by step, aero and commercial planes, they sell Rolls-Royce engines to Boeing. We've agreed to let Rolls-Royce engines and those kind of plane parts to come over tariff-free. And what you're going to hear today is there's going to be an announcement in the UK that they are buying $10 billion worth of Boeing planes later today, but I'm going to let the name of the airline announce it because that's theirs to do. But part of this deal was always to do it together and to do it strong, and you can see the numbers on this board. Everything about this board works exceptionally well for the United States of America. It lays out the plan that you can work with us in autos, you can work with us with aero and commercial, you can work with us in pharmaceuticals if you have a supply chain that is secure and protected in national security. So we feel really good about the deal. You've heard the Prime Minister. He feels really good about the deal, right? And we started at 10% and we ended at 10%. And the market for America is better. And this is a perfect example of why Donald Trump produced Liberation Day. People don't understand. He gets things done in a matter of time. This would have taken Jameson and I 3 years, maybe. And instead, we got it done in 45 days, certainly, because we worked for Donald Trump. So Jameson, my partner in all this, maybe Jameson would like to talk a little, and then we'll turn it over to the UK.
Sure, having to do that, everyone.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just trying to get an idea of what they were doing. I'm really gonna have to go back and listen a little bit more, but I mean, $10 billion. I guess through what do you call it? Boeing or whatever. But if America's going to get 10% of those tariffs, I mean, they didn't get into all of the details about it because I cut it off, whatever. But I'm probably going to have to go back and finish watching that video. But if America's going to get that much tariff out of that, that's still money back in American. That right there will. My whole point behind the tariffs is if we're going to get 10% of those tariffs, when Trump administration get to the point where we're doing these tax cuts, that's money for the government to get money, and it ain't on the taxpayers funding all the stuff that we've been funding, which I don't agree with anyway, most of it anyway. But if we're collecting 10% tariff off of the goods, then that's more money for the government to run the government and not tax the citizens. That's my whole point in a nutshell. So I think it's a great idea, great deal. I don't know all of the details because I cut it off or whatever case may be. But as far as I'm concerned, that's it sounds to me like a good deal, but we'll see how this plays out. It seems like it seems like a good deal. They didn't give a whole lot of details of what it is and what it is as far as the other details of it, because he had some type of, my phone is too small for me to see whatever they were talking about. But again, people think the tariffs is a bad thing. They've been talking about this, according to them, they've been talking about this for 25 years. People think tariffs is a bad thing. How is that bad for America? How is opening up the UK, I'm sorry, how is that bad for America? How is that bad for America? I want somebody to explain to me that what the Trump administration just announced, how is that bad for America? Now, here's the thing. I invest in the auto industry. I kind of had it. I've been buying Ford stock. I've been buying General Motors stock, and I've been buying, what's the other one? Stellantis, and what's the other company? I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But I've been buying these companies stock because this is what I thought was going to happen. Now, I didn't know this. I didn't see this coming. But I just felt as though the American brand will come back as a whole. So I started shifting money into companies that are American-made companies. I'm sorry, I got to try to figure out what's the other name. No, we're collecting tariffs instead of just. No, we're not going back to where it was. We're collecting tariffs where we wasn't getting. Trying to think what's the other company name. Give me a second. Packer or whatever. I forget the name of it. But again, how is that bad for America? How is collecting tariffs bad for America? How is American market being opened up? Because here's the thing. Everybody keep talking about China, but I didn't see that one coming. How is that bad for America? Trump is trying to give American citizens tax relief, tax breaks. But he got to find that money somewhere. So if they opening up their market for America to do business over there, to be able to sell more product over there, to be able to collect more tariffs, how is that bad for America? It was, he's talking about, it was like that years ago before we gave away all of the business to other countries. Y'all funny. But you know what? I realize that you people that you hate, the Trump haters, they will never get it anyway. So we ain't even trying to figure it out. We ain't even trying to convince them, because I'm not trying to convince them. It is what it is. But yeah, how was that bad for America? If that's the whole point of what Trump was talking about. His whole plan was to try to give Americans tax relief. You got to do it responsibly. So if he can collect revenue from other places and other countries, like we should be doing way, instead of overburdening taxing the citizen, this is exactly part of what he was talking about. Now, I didn't see it going the way it's going right now, but I don't have to have all the details. My thing is this is what he campaigned on, and this is what we're talking about. Why in the world will we keep funding all these other countries and giving away all this stuff, and they're not buying what's being made right here? That's a whole nother market. And my thing is this: America is a $20 trillion market. Now, China just lost that because they don't want to do fair business. They want to keep taking advantage of America, and they don't want to do affairs. Somebody saw opportunity, and they said, you know what, let's ship that this way. That's all China had to do. You know what they did? They collapsed their own government, their own economy, because their leader, who wants to be a controlling freak and don't want to do business, it is what it is. I knew that was, and my thing is this. This is what America needs, and they need to do this type of deals with just about every single country, so we can stop giving away money, giving away product, buying everybody else's stuff, and we're not making it here, and we're at the mercy of all these countries. This is the problem. This is exactly what I be talking about. What do you mean I don't know what to say? I'm looking at it from an American standpoint. I want America to do great. I don't care about all you keep talking about this and nothing. Donald, you probably don't even live in America as far as I'm concerned. I know you said you had your own business, but there is no way in the world you could be an American citizen. There's no way. If you're not interested in American citizens doing better, us being able to sell more product, do you know how many jobs that's going to help as far as the companies that make the stuff here and send it to other countries? Because China wasn't buying nothing from us, but we bought everything from them. So you don't see how beneficial that is to America, being able to sell more product to another country so we can make more revenue out of it. I don't see how you can't see that. I don't see how you can't see that. If Ford is manufacturing cars because Ford was selling probably more cars in China than anybody. Maybe Tesla might be beating them out. I'm not exactly sure. But if the UK is going to open up more of the auto industry, that means that more people that work in America manufacturing these cars and making them, that's more business for them. They didn't give me all the details, probably other stuff in that too. But I'm just using cars as an example. How is that bad for American workers? That's for the middle class. That's for the working class. More so than anything. Now, and again, if you keep making deals like this, that means they can responsibly do tax cuts. So that people that make under $150,000 a year will probably no longer have to pay taxes. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? If America is making product and they open their market up to American businesses, what's wrong with that? And we're collecting 10% tariffs on that. What's wrong with that? On what they sell over here too. Why do not nobody understand we need a fair trade agreement with these countries, or close to fair as possible? And if you go back to that time period that Trump was talking about, America actually had a surplus. But I know you didn't know that. So we are going back to that time period where America actually had a surplus, where you didn't have to tax the citizens. But we gave all that away through irresponsible spending. Now, Draco, you're probably right about that. We'll see how that goes. But my thing is this. If we know that America has a $20 trillion economy, China just gave that up because they wanted to be bullheaded. They just gave up access to a $20 trillion economy. Now, if you look at that on a smaller scale, here's a smaller scale. If I own, let's say I had a flea market, right? And in my flea market, $1 million in merchandise flows through my flea market. And I'm just saying on a smaller scale. $1 million of business goes through my flea market, and you got something you want to sell. And I say, well, in order for you to sell anything in my flea market, you're going to have to give me $25 for your space. This is all this is. It ain't. That's why I keep telling people, they act like it's rocket science. It's not. You want to do business here, you're going to have to pay a fee to do business here. It's not that complicated. So they come in, they pay the fee. And now they got their merchandise and they selling their merchandise. The merchandise sells out. They make profit. They make a bunch of money. They pay the fee to do it because they have access to my flea market. So what part of that don't I understand? What part of that don't I understand? I want to know. That's all that is. If I'm putting it in child form, kid form, child form. So what part of that don't I understand? So if I'm making product and I want to sell it somewhere and they open it up for me and say, you can sell it here, but either we're going to have to get a portion of what you sell or you're going to have to pay a one-time fee, however way that go. But if I look at the opportunity to make money, then guess what? I'm going to jump on board. So you tell me what part of that don't I understand. I'm not using fancy words. I'm not using fancy lingo. No, I'm not going to use that. I use common sense. I talk regular. So you tell me what part of that don't I understand. If you want to make money, you want to do business, let's come to agreement. What part of that? What's hard? What's the hard part in that? It's not hard to figure out about that. If UK's economy, and if they, according to them, they within the 10 largest economy in America. All right, cool. We're gonna make a deal so you can sell stuff over here. We're gonna make a deal so we can send stuff over there, and somebody's gonna come and hopefully it comes out better balanced than what it always been, than what it was. Either way, there's some money transpiring. There you go. Now, I'm not going into all the details. It's just common sense to me. I'm not getting into what we sell, how much we send, what we sending back, none of that stuff. I'm not going into all that. All I'm saying is, what's up, Joyce? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you're on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But all my point I'm trying to make is that how is that? Nope, it's not. I'm still stuck with that. You can go back to whatever. How you doing, Joyce? How you doing? God bless you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hopefully all is well with you. But I like I said, I don't know the details of. I just wanted to hear the announcement of what they were talking about. But I could eventually go back to find out all of the details of it, like the minute details. But it ain't that complicated. All it is a trade deal. That's what tariffs is. You want to do business in America, or if you want to do business in any other country, you got to pay some type of tax or tariff, is what we call it. That's it. We'll give you access to this economy. We'll allow you to sell some product over here, but we want access to your economy, and we'll sell some product there. That's it. What's so hard about that? Now, if the manufacturers over here and whatever stuff we sell to them, let the business part of it take care of itself. So they buy, let's say, like what he said about the pork, the British eat a lot of pork. If we selling a ton of pork to them, all right, we'll be selling a lot of pork to them. Now they might sell, they might sell rice. They might make rice. We might be buying a lot of rice from them. I don't know what the details are. That's not important to me about the so what details. My thing is this, with you guys, the handful of you guys that are out there that hate Trump, you'll never be satisfied anyway. Trump can find a cure for cancer, and y'all never agree with, y'all will never acknowledge that. Ain't nobody got, I mean, let me see, Donald. That's how you learn when someone tell you stuff. What's wrong with that? Why do people go to school, Donald? So kids go to school and learn on their own. They don't learn from somebody that might know. So you stop learning. Your statements don't even make sense. I'm always going to be a student. I don't know everything of anything. So if I don't know something and someone tells me something, that means I'm open to the knowledge. I don't care where I get the knowledge from. So the statement that you just made doesn't even make sense. I mean, it makes sense because of where it's coming from, but you act like it's something wrong with learning from somebody. You have to be the most ignorant person in the world if you refuse to learn from somebody. If I sat up on here and act like I knew everything, I would be an idiot. My people that follow my page maybe learn some stuff from me, but guess what also? They taught me a lot of stuff too. I never sit up here and act like I know everything. What's a trusted source? Let me explain something to you about a trusted source. Everybody lies. And that includes me. You just got to find out what is lie and what is true. I don't really trust any source 100%, Donald. So you're not even making sense. Draco, I agree with you. I think it's a win for both countries. I mean, I'm not from British, so it's nothing personal against the British, but I want my country to do well. And if that includes me and everybody in the country, but I think you're 100% right on that one. I think that it's great for both countries. No, it's not. Brainwash is somebody who ain't willing to learn from somebody. That's brainwash. I don't need to. Hey, if it makes sense, then it's cool. I don't have a problem with that. One thing about me is I don't have a problem with how I learn something. Rather, I learn something every single day. You ignorant when you don't. You ignorant when you don't. I would never sit there and tell anybody I know everything. That's stupid. That's ignorant. You ain't came up with a creative thought on here yet. You on my live all the time. You can't even help yourself. But yet you get your behind handed to you every single time you come here, and you still come up. I can't count how many times you said 34 felonies. And you still here saying 34 felonies. You have yet to come up with a creative thought. All of your thoughts is in response to what you think I am or not. That's all your response is. And then when it doesn't work, you throw insults. That shows me the lack of intelligence that you have. The immaturity that you have. If you was as smart, as intelligent as you keep claiming to be, go show the world. That's all you got to do. I encourage you to take all of your intellect and all of your intelligence and everything that you think you are, go show the world. If everybody on my live thought I was the dumbest thing ever, that's fine with me. I don't care. That's fine with me. That don't care. It don't matter to me. But at the end of the day, And then here's the thing. It doesn't matter what I look like. See, that's the difference between me and you. You worrying about how you look. I don't care about that to other people. I don't care how I sound to other people. You know why? Because everybody has a right to listen or not. That's it. If they come to my page and you say, oh, I think he's an idiot, I don't want to hear what he had to say, I don't care about it, what he's saying, what he's talking about, they don't have to come. But and then for somebody to say I don't have a creative thought, and you still come here and listen to me, what does that say for you? You still come to a page that don't have a creative thought. You can't help yourself. You listening to somebody that don't have a creative thought. How does that sound for you? You're right, Draco. America is winning. And we winning big. America is winning and we winning big. And we winning big. And guess what? You know what? Here's the thing. We haven't even gotten a year in yet. My buddy, Draco, check this out, right? My buddy, one of the people that follow me, and we kind of got cool since then, he sent me a receipt of the last time he got gas. And it was $2.19. He got $25 worth of gas for $2.19. Now, don't get me wrong. Where I live at, it ain't hit that number yet. It ain't hit that number yet. But where he's at, it hit that number. Nobody has a right to due process, Donald. If you ain't an American citizen, that's where I'm at. You don't like it, they don't like it, I don't care. If you ain't an American citizen, you broke the law to get here, you don't have due process. Go back where you came from. Simple as that. That's the reason why Cat Williams dug into that Mexican who was talking all that trash while he was on stage. This is my country. And if you come across them borders and you did not do it the right way and you didn't follow the process, there is no due process for you, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care about what anybody says. There is no due process for you. Pack them up, ship them out, send them back to where they came from. That's where I'm at, and I'm never going to change my stance on that. That's due process. You didn't respect the due process to get here. Why should we give you due process to get out? That's it. Yep. And my thing is this, is that I don't know how large the UK economy, their economy is over there. I really don't know. I just know that American is a $20 trillion economy. I don't know how large, but according to what they said, that they are like one in the top 10 largest economy in America. I mean, in the world. So if they're the largest economy, one of the top 10 largest economy in the world, that's better for both. Like what Draco said, that's better to me, in my opinion. That's better for both. I don't care, Donald. I don't care. I really don't. I'm not trying to be polite. If you come across that border illegally, you don't have no you have no rights. And I'm done with that. I'm not going to go into none of that. I do not care. If you come across that illegally, you don't have no rights. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Mexican, Chinese, British, whatever it is. You come across any one of these borders illegally, you should be met with hostility, as far as I'm concerned, and sent back quick as possible. I don't want none of them in my country. If you don't respect the laws of the country and you don't respect the process of this country, go back to where you came from. Trump administration keep packing them up and shipping them out, and I'm never going to bend on that. Some things I'll compromise. That's not a compromise for me. But I ain't nobody. Yeah, I mean, Joyce, you know what? They are. We know that. We know they're trying to drag it all through the court. We know that they're trying to stretch it out as long as possible to make it complicated and harder for the Trump administration to get them out of here. They're trying to drag it out. We know what they're doing. They do the same thing to the gun industry. They do the very same thing to the gun industry. They know they're not going to win. So what they try to do is they go tie up all of these legal litigations with the gun industry. They try to bankrupt the gun industry so that they put them out of business and can't manufacture guns. Why? Because they're tyrannical and they want to control this country. That's what the Democrats do. They're doing the same thing with this as what they do to the gun industry. They do the same thing. They try to drag all this court stuff, drag through all of this litigation, to drag out all of this course, to drag the time out and spend a whole bunch of money on stuff that we should not be spending money. As far as I'm concerned, you're the commander-in-chief, Trump. Who cares what they say? Pack them up, ship them out. Simple as that. That's where I'm at with it. They do the same thing to the gun industry. That's what the Democrats do to the gun industry. That's why I forget what they introduced a bill to try to make it legal. If they try to hold gun industry accountable for if someone murders somebody, they want to be able to sue the gun maker. Why? To put them out of business. That's what that is. They use the same strategy. Tie it up through courts, make it extremely expensive, sue and try to bankrupt them, just try to stop what they're doing because they're all terrorists, tyrannical. That's it. They do the same thing over and over. It don't change. They was doing the same thing when they was trying to drag Trump through court, to bankrupt him, to wear you out, so that you will give up. But they don't realize that the people that are on this side, we're stronger than that. And we're not bowing down to nobody. If you come across this border illegally, that means you don't respect America. You don't respect the laws and none of that stuff. You don't even respect the Constitution. So therefore, there is no process for you, in my opinion, but sent back home. And they were very hostile. They were very hostile. But, Donald wanted to protect illegal immigrants. He don't care about American citizens. He care about illegal immigrants more. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? We got to deal with it. But they still packing them up, and they still shipping a lot of them out of here, even though they trying to make it hard. And sometimes I wonder about him. Either way, we're going to win. I can tell you that much. We can go back and forth all we want. We winning. No, I'm not saying that they would have to. I personally, Donald, I don't think the Trump administration should follow that. The Trump administration chose to. I personally don't care. This is what I said. You're not paying attention. I don't care. Now, I hear what Joyce is saying, and she's right. They're trying to follow the courts, and they're trying to do all that stuff. I get that part. If it was me, I'm not. If I was president, I'm packing them up, shipping them out. I don't care what no one says. You shouldn't be here. I'm going to treat it the same way I would treat my home. You come in my house and I did not invite you, you getting out. If you get out of there alive. Just me. Now, the Trump administration, they're being respectful. They're trying to listen to the court, trying to go through loud litigation. I get it. Whatever. You know what I mean? I don't agree with it, but I get it. I'm not running in circles around myself. You're just not listening. Me personally, I don't want them here. I said it. I never changed my stance on that. I don't want illegal immigrants here. You break the law to get here, go back home. I'm not talking about people that come through the process, respect American laws, came through the process to become illegal, to come over here the right way. I'm talking about the ones that broke the law when they came to the door. First introduction to the country, even though it's not an introduction, your first step foot in is to break the law, go back home. Because nobody introduced you, you didn't respect the country enough. So I'm sorry. The Trump administration, they're doing all of that, following the courts and all that other stuff. I get it. And I'm not saying what they could and should not do. Me personally, I don't care. I want them out of here because they're not citizens. We know he is. I mean, but for the sake of some things ain't even worth responding to. It really isn't. Because the level of stupidity just goes. Crazy. The level of but they don't see that part, Joyce. You know that. They think that $37 trillion is it's okay to just keep going higher. I said that the 14th Amendment does not apply to them. No, it don't. If you go back and look at why it was written, it was to protect people that was free slaves. That's what it was for. It was for black people that were slaves at that time. They needed sanctuary cities. That's what I was talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. That's what it was for, to protect them. That was to be rights to be citizens. But you want to give it to everybody else. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. I'm good. But I ain't, there's no point in wasting my time with that. He didn't say to follow the Constitution. He said he got to look into it. He don't think he has to follow what they're saying because they're misinterpreting the Constitution. That's the problem. So till he get a clear indication of how they're going to interpret it, which if you go back to when it was written, then you can interpret it a lot better because it'll tell you what's going on at the time. Yeah, I'll let y'all have it. But yeah, I have, when I get time, I'm going to go look back further into it. Hopefully I can catch the video, watch everything. Hopefully they put out more details. It's probably more details on Trump's Truth Social is probably where I'm going to have to go to get more details about what all that entails. But I'm getting ready to get up out of here. I gotta go. Draco, Joyce, and everybody else, I appreciate y'all. Please hit that like button. Donald, appreciate you too. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Appreciate it very, very much. My stance will always be the same. It's not going to change. I don't want illegals over here. It's not good for the country. Sorry. I don't care who that offends. Be offended. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I don't care. I'm not trying to, it is what it is. I treat the border just like I treat my home. If I did not invite you, you should not be in there. Simple as that. That's about as common sense as you can make it. I don't care about what y'all, the rhetoric around it. I don't invite you in my home. I look at the country. The country is my home. Just like I look at my house is my home. You come across this country and you did not do it the right way, there is no process for you. You should be sent back to where you came from. Simple as that. The only process is collect them up and send them back. I'm not trying to compromise on that at the end of the day. Again, I don't care. So what the Trump administration do, how they handle the border, how they handle illegal immigration, that's what we voted for them to do and to handle it. Doesn't mean I'm agree with every way they handle it. Probably not. I don't know. All I want is them going as many as possible, as soon as possible, and that's not a compromise for me. But with that said, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. And like I always say, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we talk about, no matter what we do. If we don't have God in our life and you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, it's meaningless. We get hate, love, we go through all of this stuff. But without Christ, we're all nothing. As simple as that. I don't care about how your political stance or whatever the case, how you feel about this, how you feel about that. Ron's opinion don't matter as it relates to anything, but Ron's opinion does matter when it relates to Christ. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, everything that we're doing is meaningless at this point. And that's real talk. And at the end of the day, y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. I'm out of here. Everyone, please, thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate y'all time. I do not take any of y'all time lightly. I do not take it for granted. I appreciate y'all spending time with me. And thank you for y'all support, like always. And until the next time, y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. Peace.